Hello and welcome again, Monster.com. Felix here. I'm going to be taking you through the process of making a Rubik's Cube today. I chose a Rubik's Cube because it's pretty simple to make and we're going to be using a lot of common tools to build it. So let's go ahead and fire up Cinema 4D. We're going to go under File, Save As. We'll name our project Rubik's Cube and save it out. Now we're going to click on Cube, and a cube was added to our viewport. It's 200 inches across all three dimensions. And that's fine. We'll be changing the segments to 3 each, and we'll start seeing our Rubik's Cube take form. Alright, right now as it stands, the cube is pretty useless to us in primitive form. We're going to be making it editable to change into a polygonal object. Now with our polygonal object, we are able to go into the Polygon tool and select the polygons, or as I call them, faces. So let's get right down to it by hitting Live Selection, holding down Control on our keyboard and pressing A. And we're going to right click on our viewport, Extrude Inner, untick Preserve Groups, click and hold in our viewport and drag to the left. Now what this does is add more polygons to our model. Now while it looks like it's deformed, it's really not. If we render it out, it still looks like a flat cube. We just added polygons to our model and we haven't deformed it yet. So let's go ahead and jump to that. We're going to be scaling, make sure X, Y, and Z are selected, and anywhere in our viewport we're going to click and hold and drag to the right so it deforms a bit. So now when we render, we are now seeing our cube get more and more definition. Alright, so we're going to go Selection Invert, and this selects all the lines in between, and let's color this black. We're going to go down to Materials, double click down here, double click on Matte, which is short for material, go to Color, bottom left, and that'll create black. Or I'm going to change the color just for emphasis, it's white. We untick the color attribute in our material and it's black anyways. Alright, so I'll go ahead and do that, close out the box, rename matte to black, and we're going to go to Selection, Set Selection, rename this to black, and then we're going to drop black onto our cube. Now this is our material tag and this is our selection tag. When we set selected, it created a polygon selection tag. So under our material tag, we're going to drag our selection under selection. So it looks black, black. Now our cube went from being entirely black to just being black on our selection. So when we render this out, we're starting to see like we have a little bit of depth going on. Alright, so we're going to keep on with our selection tools. Make sure you have Use Polygon tool selected, Live Selection, and we're going to be changing our radius from 10 to 1. This will make it easier for us to not mess up. So click, hold down Shift, click, and keep going just around there until you have all 6 faces selected on your object. Alright, so we did it the long way. This way we're going to do it the quicker way. We're going to go to this mat and we'll be making this white. White is the hardest color to project in 3D because we have shadows, we have occlusion, and pretty much a dark scene going on. So while the color is white, I'm going to go ahead and drag it on. We're going to render this. It looks gray. To circumvent this, we'll open up matte again. We'll add a bit of luminance. Not 100%. 100% is just blaring white. We're going to drop it down to, say, 25%. And that'll be just enough white to portray the color and not blind the audience. Alright, so close matte. We're pretty much done there. Now we're going to move on to our next matte, and that'll be green. So we'll go with a darker green there. And we were actually under our luminance, so we have to move it over to color. A quick way to do this is just to right click on color, copy, go to your color attribute, right click on the color, and paste, and it'll change the color like that. Alright, so we have green selected, and we're going to drag green onto our selection, and now that part is green there. And flash forward to our next color. Alright, so I have a blue made as a material and blue selected, and I'm going to be dropping blue onto that side of the cube. Render it out so you see how far I've gotten. White, red, blue. Onto the next face. Flash forward. And here goes our orange onto the orange selection. So, and here goes yellow onto the bottom, and that was our last color. Now we have all the faces on our cube colored. Now it looks awesome, you know, as far as Rubik's cubes go. But let's go ahead and brand this with goodoldmonster.com icon. So double click matte, and under color we're gonna be going texture ellipses, and we're gonna go into our texture folder, our project folder. Select watermark. We're gonna right click texture, gonna copy it, go under alpha, tick the box under this texture here, paste. And there's two ways we can go about it. Right now it's trying to mathematically calculate where the alpha should go, and it's actually the invert of it. That's one way to fix it. Or we can let it know that it's not a soft translation, it's a literal translation, in that the way I made this file, it has an alpha channel of black and white. So either way, it'll work out for us. I'm gonna go ahead and just untick soft and leave that as that. I'm gonna rename our material over to logo, and we have our material selected now. And under cube, let's switch out to all 4 viewports, scroll in on each. Alright, we're gonna go to our live selection, use Polygon tool, untick only select visible elements. We're gonna click in the dead center of our right viewport, and essentially what that'll do is select 2 faces at once, and on our front, the middle, and our top. So now we have 1 face of each side selected in a matter of clicks. Alright, so take our logo and drag it onto one of our selections, and you'll now see that our logo is way too big. So to circumvent this, we're just gonna go to our tag, make sure it's selected. We're gonna switch to our use texture tool, and we're gonna scale. Now from here, let's go back to our texture tag. Our projection from UVW mapping, we're gonna switch it to cubic. Alright, and we're gonna actually click on the dead center of our axis tool and scale down until the logo fits just about as perfect as we can get it. There we go. And render it out. Beautiful. And there's our monster.com Rubik's Cube. This has been how to make a Rubik's Cube here with Felix, and stop by the website, let me know how I did today, and if you have any questions, post away and I'll answer.